Hi, in this video we're going to learn on how to factor quadratic trinomials here. Um, what is the plan here? We're going to use the standard form of ax to the second plus bx plus c. The example that I explained here in this video is when the leading coefficient when a is 1. If a is bigger than 1 or less than 1, this technique is not going to work the way that I'm explaining in this video. It only works when a equals to 1. So keep that in mind. Only when the leading coefficient is 1, like here. It's 1 here, it's 1 here, and it's 1 here. The main idea is of factoring is that you want to find basically two numbers that when you multiply them will give you c, the constant here. And then when you put together the same two numbers, you will be getting b here. And one of the biggest problems when factoring is that in some cases you are going to be able to find those two numbers that you're looking for that will give you the constant and the number in the middle. But another bigger problem is that the signs that you need to have is a major issue here. With this technique, you should have no problems with the signs if you follow the idea. So that's the first thing that I'm going to do here. All right, so follow this here. All right, so number one, before we get into any numbers, the first thing you're going to do when factoring a quadratic trinomial is automatically open two parentheses. Automatically open two parentheses. The second thing that you're going to do is the variable that you use, in this case is n, write n in the first one, and then write n in the first parenthesis, and then n in the second one too. So again, open two parentheses, whatever variable you're using, you write it down each parenthesis there. Next is the key of getting it correctly, the signs. So how are you going to do that? Whatever sign you see here in the beginning, you just bring it down. If it is a minus, you put a minus. If it is a plus, you put a plus there. But you see how is that you're going to be able now to get the second sign. Unlike the first one, in order for you to get a second sign, you need to multiply the two signs of the example. Like in this case, what is a negative times a positive? Since they're different, you know what they're going to give you? A negative here. So again, before I keep going, the first sign, you just bring it down. But in order for you to get a second one, you need to multiply the two signs here. And the rule is simple. If they're different, it's always going to be a minus. If they are the same, it's going to be a plus. So you see, so we got that out of the way. Now what we need here is, you go to the constant here with the sign, this plus 10, or it don't matter actually, just put 10. And what you're going to do here is find the factors. Two numbers that will give you 10. So let me start with the easy one. 1 times 10, 2 times 5, and I believe that that's basically it. What you're going to say to yourself here is, you're going to look into those numbers to see which one of these two, in this case by either adding or subtracting, will give you the number in the middle, b, which is 11. And let me try actually that one that don't work, because I think you can have an idea now. See, let me try these two here, 5 and 2. If you try to use 5 and 2, let's say you place them here and here, then it's going to be negative 5 and negative 2. Negative 5 times negative 2 will give you positive 10, but negative 5 take away 2 will give you negative 7. And we're looking here for negative 11. So clearly, this one's not going to do it. But 1 and 10, see, if you replace 10 here and 1 here, negative 10 times negative 1 is positive 10, and negative 10 take away 1 is negative 11. After you find the numbers, there is another rule that you need to follow. I know here it will matter, but it will matter in the other ones when the signs are different. When you find the two factors that work, the biggest one goes into the first binomial. And obviously the other one goes into the second one. the smallest one. And this right here basically is your final answer. If you want to check your work, once you have it like that, you have the option to multiply the two binomials and you should be getting the original, or just use the numbers that you have inside here. How? First thing you do is with the signs that you have there, you're going to say negative 10 times negative 1, which is positive 10, which is basically the C here, the constant here, which is good. And then the other one is, you put them together, negative 10 minus 1, which is negative 11, which is B here. So since it passed both of them, you know this is the answer correctly, 100%. But again, if you don't want to check your work that way, then just multiply the two binomials. I already downloaded the video for that, so you can go back to it. Let's go to the next one. Just like the other one, the first thing that you're going to do here, forget about the numbers, is open your two parentheses here. The variable in this case is n. Now you need to take care of the signs. What is we're going to do with this one always? Just bring it down, whatever is there. But be careful. In order for you to get a second one, what is that you need to do again? Multiply the two signs. Positive times a negative is a negative here. They're different. So you see, so we already took care, just like before, of a major problem here, a major issue. So we already have the sign set up. All we need to do here now is find the factors that will give you 12. So the first one, 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. You see, those are the only factors of 12. And just like how we did before, your mindset should be, which one of these factors, when you put them together, will give you the 4 that you have in there. Clearly, by looking at 1 and 12, even if you add or subtract, it's going to be impossible for you to get 4. Like 12 plus 1 is 13, and 12 minus 1 is 11. So you know that's not going to do it. How about 6 and 2? Even though 6 plus 2 will give you 8, but how about 6 minus 2? See, 6 minus 2 will give you 4. So we know that one is the answer. And let me try the last one just so that you see it. 4 plus 3 is 7. We're not looking for that. And 4 minus 3 is 1. So clearly is 6 and 2. But from the plan here that I'm using, which one of these two goes in the first group? The biggest factor. So in this case, it's going to be 6. And then here is going to be 2. You see, especially in here, you see, because if you misplace that 6 in the second parenthesis, the example is going to fail. And I'm going to prove it to you now by checking my work. So how is that I'm going to check my work like before? I'm going to multiply. You see, this positive 6 times negative 2. When you multiply, you get negative 12, which is basically C here, the constant here, which is good. And then the next thing that you're going to do is just combine the same numbers. 6 minus 2, which is 4, positive, and that's what we're having here. So that example is good, 100%. So again, this plan is never going to fail you as long as you follow, you know, how to bring down the signs, and after you find the factors, always make sure that in the first binomial, you write down the biggest of the two factors that you found. And last, we have this example here. I'm leaving this one for last for two reasons. If you notice, I'm only giving you 3 examples here because you see the signs here are going to be like minus and plus, plus and minus, and negative, negative. I'm not giving you the one that is plus and plus, but that one actually is the easiest one because you have no problem with the signs. It's always going to be positive. And also I'm giving you this one because you see 90. Unlike, let's say, 10 and 12, you need to find a lot of combinations there, especially when you learn this year. Now, when you get more comfortable, you see your mindset is going to start changing quickly for you to like realize what two numbers will give you 90. And when you put them together, will give you, like in this case, you see there is no number. You know what you need to do. You know there is a 1 here. So actually you want to get 1 in the middle, negative 1 in the middle here. All right. But before we do that, let's follow the plan here. So what is like step one? You open the two parentheses here. In this case, we're using x. So you put x here, x here. The first sign that you see here, you just bring it down. How do we get a second sign? You basically multiply these two. Negative and negative will give you a plus. Or remember what I told you before, if the signs are the same, it's always going to be plus. So you see, so we already did, you can say, the difficult part of the example there. Now, let's find the factors of 90. I'm going to find all of them, but like I said before, when you get good at it, you're going to end up finding that number right away. You don't need to find all of them. But I'm just doing this to show you the process and the options. So in one way, if especially a big number like this, how is that you're going to find all of the factors when you don't know them? If you have a calculator here, my advice to you is like start dividing. For example, you know the first one is always going to be, 1 times 90. That one is always going to be there when you multiply by 1. But how about the other ones? How do you know if you have other factors? If you go to the calculator, all you need to do is say, for example, 90 divided by 2. You see, 90 divided by 2 gives you 45. So that implies that 2 times 45 is a factor of 90. Then you go to the next one. How about 90 divided by 3? 90 divided by 3 is 30. So then that implies that 3 times 30 is a factor of 90. But you see, when you go to 4, 90 divided by 4 is going to give you a decimal. So that implies that 4 is not a factor of 90. So then all you need to do is keep going to the next one, which is going to be 5. And 90 divided by 5 is 18. So you get 5 times 18. How about the next one? 6. 90 divided by 6, 15. So 6 times 15 will give you 90. And last, 7 is going to fail because it's going to give you a decimal. 8 is going to fail. So the last one here is going to be 9 because 90 divided by 9 is 90. So 9 times 10. Now you see here, I'm not even going to check all of them. Just look at the combinations here. And this is what I was saying earlier. When you get good at it, you're going to just say to yourself instead, when you see this and you set up your signs, what two numbers will give you 90 and when you put them together 1? When that happens, that two numbers that you're looking for, they must be close to each other by only one number. That's the only way for you to get a 1 when you subtract them. All right? Like in this case, so if you look at all of this combination, it's like impossible to get a 1 unless you go to the last one. You see, because even though 10 plus 9 will give you 19, what is 10 minus 9? You see, 10 minus 9 will give you the 1 that you're looking for right there. But after you do that, which one of these two numbers goes first? The 10 and then the 9. And like always, let's check to see if this is correct here. So you have negative 10 times 9 equals to negative 90, which is the constant here. And now you just basically combine them. Negative 10 plus 9, negative 1. The number that you're looking for here. So again, I really hope that this helped you out. And again, the more you practice, the more comfortable you're going to get. And the less of the factors that you're going to find. Because that's how basically you're going to get good at it, by practicing. So see you in the next video, which is going to